All right, what's up, guys and girls? How's it going? I am Is There Known Else. I'm bringing you a build video today for the Magic Sorcerer. Typically, there's two different main play styles for Magic Sorc. There's Resto and Destro, and this is going to be a Resto dual wield build for those of you guys that just like the old dual wield setup. Dual wield's a lot of fun. It's very bursty. Burst is always a good time. In the same vein from before, I've seen a lot of people ask, how is dual wield Magic Sorc this patch? Without having knockdown frags, it's really like the main thought is because there's no knockdown frags, it's really hard to burst people because you don't have that CC, and I had to fit another skill in your bar, and you have to take inner light off at that point, and then you're missing out on a lot of burst from the 5% max magic. So that's kind of the contention, is that the dual wield setup's dead. It is not. Just like before, Sorc's got a buff this patch. They took away the knockdown for frags, but they gave him Rune Cage, which is unblockable and undodgeable. So if a Nightblade dodge rolls, you can Rune Cage, you can CC him on the ground. And so they're trying to get away from you, you CC him, and it's guaranteed to go off when you proc it. And since Sorc, dual wield Magic Sorc relies on burst, guaranteeing our burst all the time actually makes dual wield Sorc better this patch than it was last patch, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, with the state of the game the way it is, dual wield Sorc is just harder to play because it all relies on burst. You're going to run across people with a high amount of health and healing, and it's going to be very hard for you to kill them. Just because you're not going to have enough damage to finish them off. And so some fights are just going to last a little bit longer. But that's kind of what you have to do. That's just kind of like, if you're going to play dual wield Sorc, no, you don't have sustained pressure, you have burst, and you really have to focus on your burst combo to take people out. Anyway, that's my long-winded point cut short. Let's dive into what I would run for dual wield. So as far as, we'll go into that later, but we're running 5-piece spinners, guys. We're running 3 jewelry. Right now I have 2 spell damage and 1 recovery. I put this jewelry over for my Templar. I didn't want to switch all my enchants, so I kind of kept it roughly the same. But I would run 3 spell damage enchants with spinners on this. Now, you run 3 jewelry and you run 2 swords. Now, this is really good. I think this is the best 5-piece that you can fit right now for dual wield, for as far as like buying sets goes or whatever. If you were farming and you were able to get your hands on 5-piece Overwhelming Surge, and you could get Overwhelming Surge with swords, I think that would probably be better than this. I think 3 jewelry overwhelming with 2 swords would be pretty damn nasty. But I'm not going to farm the swords right now. I don't really want to go into that. I'm going to run spinners. Spinners is a good damage set, guys. Max Magicka, spell damage, and then spell pen. So we have a lot of damage with this build. We have a lot of Max Magicka, and then we have even more damage with the amount of pen that we have with our 5-piece. With this heavy armor meta the way it is, spinners automatically becomes one of the better damage sets in the game for that reason. This isn't going to be as good against Sorcs, obviously, but we're trying to figure out like who we deal with the most, and Sorcs is definitely not it right now. So yeah, dummy Resto and Fuse Staff on the back bar with our weapon and spell damage enchant. It's almost like an Alchemist proc. Our light attack will buff this. 1-piece Grotdar, heavy divines, Twiceborn Star, and all divines. You want divines on everything. 1-piece Domi House, and then I'm running prismatics on the big pieces, so prismatic legs, prismatic chest, and then Max Magicka for everything else. The reason we're doing this is because we want to get our stamina, our health where it's at, to where we can run a different food that'll give us more Max Magicka and more recovery. This is going to be very similar. Basically, the only thing we took off is we took out our willpower and our Destro staff from my previous build, and we put on 5-piece spinners. For those of you guys that haven't watched my previous Sorc build, I'll post it for you guys I'll go into more detail with it, but I'll post it in the description below. Basically, for min-maxing damage-wise, for the same amount of recovery, if you try and get your health and stamina pools the same, and your recovery pool the same, Twiceborn Star will outperform Shackle Breaker if you're not running Impen. It'll give slightly more damage for the same amount of recovery. And so we run Twiceborn Star because we don't need Impen if we keep our shields up. Yeah, if you want to run Impen and you feel like you need Impen, I would take Twiceborn off and I would put Shackle Breaker on. It's not a huge difference, but for min-maxing, I found Twiceborn to be better. So yeah, so we're running Twiceborn. Like I said, Domi House, yada yada yada, 5 spinners, and then the reason we're running that is because instead of running Witch Mother's Potent Brew, which gives us 3192 Magicka, we're able to run Ghastly Eyeball, which gives us 4256. This increases our Magicka pool, makes our wards bigger. It also gives us more Magicka recovery, which means we can stack more into damage. That's why we run Twiceborn, is because it has that health bonus and the stand bonus. So with a couple Prismatics, we can then run this food, and we don't have to worry about our health being too low. And we can get the sustain where we want it to be. As far as skills go, on our Resto bar, guys, we are running Healing Ward, Harness, Hardened, Streak, Degeneration, Lights Champion. Our dual wield bar, our attack bar, we're running Shooting Star, Inner Light, Haunting Curse, Mage's Wrath, Rune Cage, and Crystal Fragments. Very bursty. We have 13k tooltip for frags unbuffed. So this is before major sorcery. This is not counting the penetration that we get from spinners as well. So very, very hard-hitting setup. As far as our CP goes, 61 Warlord, 56 Tenacity, 64 Arcanist. I would take some out of Tenacity and I put it into Tumbling. We're not going to do heavy attacks. Elfborn, 40 Elfborn, 49 Ellie Expert, 62 Spell Erosion, 48 Master at Arms, 23 Shattering Blows for those pesky Sorcs, 51 Ironclad, 23 in Resistant, 37 Hardy, 37 Elemental Defender, 10 Thick-Skinned, 72 into Bastion. We're running immovable pots. This is... Ooh. Our food's out, and we're still sitting at 43,000 Magicka. So when we take our food, on our front bar, we're at 2553 Magicka recovery. That's going to drop down to around 2300 when we switch that enchant over. I am not a vampire. You absolutely can be. I haven't done it. But we're at 48,000 magic, which is a lot of magic. 19,500 health, 14,000 stamina. Like I said, 2553 Magicka recovery, which is very high. 2,000 spell damage unbuffed. That's not counting spinners, and it's not counting when you actually buff the set. So when we do our light attack on our back bar and we hit with entropy, we're going to be around 3,000 spell damage with this build. So 3,000 spell damage, 3,000-ish spell damage, and then 48,000 Magicka. We're going to hit hard as shit. Resistances don't matter because we're a Sorc. Our wards are our resistances, and we have a lot of Magicka. So big shields. Atrodoc Mundus, Mage Mundus for Twiceborn Star. We want more max Magicka. Divines buffs us quite a bit, so that's very valuable. On our back bar, we're sitting at 45,000 Magicka, 19,500 health, 14,000 stamina. Now, I've talked to a few people about this build, and they say, oh wow, your health's low. Why are you running such low health? Keep in mind, guys, this is not a dueling build. Okay, for dueling, I would run something different. I would run more health. I would run a little bit. I would run less recovery and more damage in a dueling situation. So this isn't for dueling. This is for open world PvP trying to 1vx. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to min-max. I'm trying to get by with enough health so that I can get as much recovery and damage in my build as possible, so I'm super bursty. 19.5 health isn't that big of a deal, guys. Normally I run around with 20.5, 21k health. This is just slightly less for way more max Magicka, way more recovery, and way more damage. So for 1vxing, I like this a lot more because as long as I keep my wards up, they're not touching my health bar anyways. And it's going to be really easy to keep your wards up when you're sitting on 45,000 Magicka. You're very, very tanky if you're good with your wards. If you're not good with your wards, it really doesn't matter how much health you have on a Sorc. I see a lot of Sorcs right now running like 35,000 health in light armor, and I think they do that because they think it's going to help them survive, but they're actually just gimping themselves because they're not investing in the Magicka pool, which is actually going to make you more tanky than health will. So just my preferences. Obviously, like if you don't like this low of health, I would say give it a shot. If you don't like this low, put another prismatic enchant on, maybe put a few points in the health, get to 20,000, 21, whatever. You could run Witch Mothers, but you're going to lose a good 1k Magicka for 3k health, which I don't think is really worth it. Yeah. And you're going to miss out on some stam. Well, never mind. You're not going to miss out on stam. So, anyways, that's the setup. Why does this work? Like I said, our burst combo is very, very nasty. If we hit everything at the same time, anybody 25k health and below will die almost instantly. I was fighting a dual wield Sorc yesterday, and he shit on me from full health down to 0. There's nothing I could do. You know, I didn't. The only thing I could have done is pop an immovable right when the meteor hit me. But once that CC happens and all that stuff hits at the same time, you just kind of die. And that's why this setup is. That's why dual wield Sorc is still viable. That's why it's still strong for, you know, for what it's doing. It's just you're not going to have the pressure against the high health builds. So I think that's it for the build, guys. Yeah, I guess let's go into a quick clip here and kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. But go into here, manage our clips. Hopefully. There we go. Where's it at? I have a lot of clips, obviously. I've been trying to show some Sorc stuff. But yeah, so this setup isn't my preferred playstyle. I prefer Destro. I prefer all the pressure. But I found this to be pretty damn effective. So this is just me fighting two Nightblades. They have lower amount of health. You can see when you watch it, you'll see that I don't even get my combo perfectly well the first time, but I still do a pretty good job of just bursting them down. Like that guy dies almost instantly. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try and get that reticle off. My bad. All right. So typically with this combination, guys, is what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna hit with our curse, and we're gonna drop the meteor. Curse, Mage's Wrath, drop the meteor, rune cage, and then hopefully we proc a frag like that, and then we finish them with the frag. I didn't do the Mage's Wrath correctly, which is the problem. This combo, you know, he's sitting at like 22,000 health. The pressure's going to be a little bit tough to deal with. We flirt around and we fight a little bit, but I ended up getting him in the end. So you see he dodge rolls there. The rune cage goes through the dodge roll, which is why it makes it so strong. Like you can get your frags off on those pesky Sorcs or those pesky Nightblades pretty easily. So I think he stealths right here, and then my curse, I thought he left. I think my curse goes off and it almost kills him. Like he comes back and yeah, he's almost an execute. So I just apply Mage's Wrath, curse, rune cage, frag. He's dead. Nothing super special, guys, but like it's just the amount of damage that we have. Our max magicka, our damage, the burst is just really freaking strong. So if you like Bursty, if you want to play a little bit harder play style, dual wield Magicka Sorc is definitely it. You know, it's not going to be as good against everybody, you know, because that's just the way the style is. But there's something very satisfying about just getting this combo down well and just melting somebody. So if I missed anything, please provide in the section below. And I'll do my best to answer it. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day.